At first, Kim Porter's dad, Jake Porter, said nothing about the guy who used to date his daughter and would eventually have 3 children with her. That all changed after he saw the video of P. Diddy harming Cassie. Now he has some things to say, and it doesn't make Diddy look good. Jake called into the Rolling Stone to tell the publisher exactly how he felt about the video and Diddy himself. He said that after seeing the video of Diddy kicking, stomping, and dragging Cassie around the hotel hallway, he felt sickened. He said that the video was so disgusting that he wouldn't even treat his enemy like that. He mentioned that he was a Vietnam War vet, and he wouldn't even treat the soldiers he had fought against like that. Jake added that what Diddy was doing to Cassie was despicable. It seemed like he was genuinely shocked by the video because he kept saying how terrible it was and how he'd never treat anyone or anything like that. Then, the big question came. Had he ever witnessed Diddy doing the same thing to Kim? Jake answered that he had never seen anything to that extent, but the video did make him wonder if something was going on that Kim wasn't telling him about. He had lived with Kim during different periods of her time with Diddy, so he was able to see how they behaved together a lot. That kind of harm never happened while he was around, but that sort of makes sense. Diddy is smart enough not to harm his partner right in front of her dad. He clearly forgot that hotels have security cameras, otherwise the public likely wouldn't have gotten the harm on video either. Jake added that his heart went out to Cassie and that he never would have believed that Diddy could stoop so low as to harm a woman. He added that there were probably a lot of people who were shocked. He's likely right to an extent. Allegations that Diddy is dangerous have been going on for years, even before Cassie started claiming that he had harmed her. So there was always a rumor going around that Diddy wasn't the nicest guy to his partners. However, many were likely shocked at just how violent he could become. In the video, Diddy was clearly seen grabbing Cassie by the throat and throwing her on the ground. Once she was on the ground, he started kicking her and stomping on her. Diddy went away for a moment, but then he came back and dragged Cassie on the floor back to their hotel room. Cassie also once talked about another incident that sounded similar to what happened in the video. She claimed that while they were at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles, Diddy became very intoxicated and punched her in the face. She even ended up developing a black eye. Cassie waited until Diddy was asleep, snuck out of the hotel room, and headed for the elevator. Just like a horror story, Diddy woke up and chased after Cassie. He started yelling at her and tried to grab her. He also picked up vases that were sitting along the hallway and threw them at her. Cassie managed to escape and got a taxi to bring her to her apartment. As she sat in the cab, however, she began to worry about what would happen if she didn't go back to Diddy. Stuck in the harmful, toxic relationship, she thought things would be worse if she went home. So she told the taxi driver to go back to the hotel. Now, the hotel staff totally saw the surveillance footage, so when they saw her come back in, they told her that she should go home. They were worried about her. She assured them that it would be okay, and then she returned to Diddy. It would take several more attempts before Cassie was eventually able to leave him. Now, Jake wasn't interested in doing a tell-all story about his daughter's relationship with Diddy. He did admit, however, that Kim really loved Diddy. He called Kim's love legitimate, but that may not have been the case for Diddy. Jake admitted that he wasn't sure what Diddy called love or if he even knew what love was. So clearly, Jake must have had some hesitation about Kim dating Diddy. He probably thought that his daughter was giving a lot in her relationship, but her partner wasn't giving that much back. Diddy cheated on her too, both with Jennifer Lopez and with a friend of his. So clearly, he didn't love her as much as she loved him. Her dad probably wasn't too happy about how Diddy had treated his daughter either. Jake said that he believed that Diddy was a really jealous person. Even Kim seemed to think that too. When she left him after giving birth to their first child, Diddy would hound her all day. He'd send her like 50 or 60 texts, so she'd never had some peace. Even though she wanted to create space between them because he had been cheating on her with J-Lo, he wasn't allowing her to have that space. He'd even come over to her house, claiming that he wanted to spend time with his son. Although Kim tried to leave him, he eventually pulled her back in. It's a really similar experience that Cassie faced, except she wasn't pregnant with his child. The Rolling Stone also interviewed other people who were close to Diddy, and the stories they heard were disturbing. Around 50 individuals claimed that Diddy was a dangerous person and really physically aggressive. He was also volatile, and his mood could turn on a dime. They also believed that he could be really controlling in his relationships. Kim got a taste of that herself when she left him for the first time and started dating Shakir Stewart. When Diddy heard who she was dating, he waited for the perfect opportunity to threaten Shakir. That moment came when the music industry came together for L.A. Reid's wedding. After the ceremony, Diddy tracked down Shakir's hotel room and busted in. He grabbed a chair and broke it over Shakir's head while saying to stay away from Kim. If he stayed with her, then he was going to take his life. Shakir had to get stitches after Diddy left him in his room, bleeding out. When Shakir's mom heard about what happened, she told him that he needed to leave the business or else he'd lose his life. Suffice it to say, Kim and Shakir broke up, and a few years later, she was back with Diddy. So, one could definitely say that he's volatile, physically aggressive, and controlling in relationships. relationships. Now, according to the Daily Mail, things between Jake and Diddy used to be pretty good. When the news broke that Kim had passed away from pneumonia, Diddy stepped up to honor Kim. He gave a eulogy at her funeral, wept at her grave, and was seen holding hands with Jake while they both grieved. Jake even thought that Diddy was her soulmate once, but that seems to have changed. He was asked if Kim's passing should be reinvestigated now that a lot of new information about Diddy has come to light. Jake said that the previous investigation wasn't good, although he didn't specifically ask for a new investigation. Kim was said to have passed away from pneumonia, but a lot of fans of hers always thought that it was odd. Kim was a young and healthy woman, and pneumonia typically only takes the lives of children and older people. The fact that she was alone at her house also made her passing seem suspicious. Another source spoke to the Daily Mail too, claiming to be a family member of Kim's. They weren't as neutral about it as Kim's dad. They said that if Kim had been their daughter, they would be opening up a new investigation. They recalled Kim as a young girl who had been the sweetest little kid then. That all changed after she was with Diddy. The family member said that they noticed a change immediately. While they weren't sure what was going on, they could just sense that something wasn't right. They also said that they felt in their spirit that he was guilty of doing something to Kim. Maybe they're right. Because apparently there's a tell-all book that Kim allegedly wrote called Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side. Now the author behind the book, Chris Todd, said that he isn't sure if the book is real or not. He got it from 2 music industry sources on a flash drive. In the book, Kim claimed that she had made copies of adult tapes that Diddy made with young boys. One of those boys was 18 years old at the time and would go on to be a household name in the world of pop. Many fans believed this person to be Justin Bieber. The last page of the supposed memoir also said that Kim fell ill, then texted her friend saying that he had got her before calling the police. So it gets a little outlandish toward the end. Kim's passing is definitely a mystery, and even her own dad, who once thought that Diddy was a pretty okay guy, is starting to wonder if something else might have happened to her. But what do you guys think? Did she pass away from pneumonia, or did something more sinister happen to her? Let me know in the comments below.